Okay, so today we're going to embark on a very special journey, a gentle descent into the profound depths where ancient wisdom meets the very essence of your daily actions. Imagine, if you will, that you're sitting in a dimly lit, ancient temple, perhaps somewhere nestled high in the Himalayas, the air thick with the scent of incense and the quiet hum of centuries of contemplation. You can almost feel the tangible presence of sages who understood a truth that often eludes us in our goal-obsessed modern world: the immense transformative power of selfless action. We live in a world that constantly pushes us to achieve, to gain, to win, where every effort is seemingly tied to a desired outcome. It's as if our to-do lists have become our masters, and our sense of worth is perpetually held hostage by results. So take a deep, energizing breath, let the insistent demands of expected results begin to recede, and prepare to discover how the ancient, profound tradition of karma yoga, when viewed through the practical lens of Stoicism, offers a powerful roadmap for living a life of profound purpose and unwavering inner peace. The concept of selfless action in karma yoga isn't merely about charity or altruism. It's a profound spiritual discipline, a dynamic pathway to realizing the ultimate reality of Brahman, the universal consciousness, by purifying the individual ego. Long before modern psychology theorized about intrinsic motivation, the Vedic seers understood that actions performed without attachment to their fruits could liberate the soul from the endless cycle of karma and suffering. The Bhagavad Gita, a central text of Hindu philosophy, is replete with instances where profound truths are illuminated, not through abstract philosophy, but through the call to perform one's duty without expectation of reward. Archaeologists recently unearthed a fascinating series of ancient clay tablets detailing remarkably strict rules for warriors and kings, emphasizing that their valor and governance should be for the good of the realm, not personal glory, believing that such selfless leadership accumulated vast spiritual merit. One particularly intriguing inscription describes a legendary king who would personally serve the poorest citizens of his kingdom, anonymously, to ensure his actions were truly devoid of ego. Historians still debate whether his disguise was truly effective or if he occasionally got recognized by a particularly astute peasant. This profound reverence for acting without attachment wasn't arbitrary. It was seen as the most direct path to profound spiritual liberation. For the Stoics, the mastery of selfless action was equally vital, albeit for a more practical, ethical purpose. Distinguishing between what is within your control, your intentions and efforts, and what is not, the outcomes of your actions. They believed that attaching one's happiness to external results which are inherently beyond one's control was a recipe for perpetual disappointment and emotional turmoil. Through rigorous daily exercises, they sought to direct their efforts solely towards acting virtuously, understanding that true peace came from aligning with logos, universal reason, and performing their duty, regardless of what the universe returned. You might feel a subtle shift in perspective, a quiet confidence that true fulfillment comes from the nobility of your effort, not the capriciousness of external success. It's like discovering that the remote control for your peace of mind is not in the hands of fate, but firmly within your own grasp, controlling your intentions. Did you know that Epictetus, the former slave, often taught his students that even if they faced certain failure, their duty was still to act virtuously in the attempt, for the virtue lay in the action itself, not its outcome? It's a bit like playing a game where the score doesn't matter, only the integrity with which you play each move. Historians still debate whether this philosophy made Roman gladiators more stoic in the arena, or simply better at accepting defeat. This deliberate control over one's intentions was their ultimate tool for inner peace and ethical living. The profound link between selfless action in karma yoga and Stoicism, and your personal journey, is that true freedom and peace emerge when you disentangle your efforts from their anticipated results. When your actions are motivated by attachment to outcomes, you become vulnerable to the unpredictable nature of the world, leading to anxiety, frustration, and disappointment. By embracing selfless action, you perform your duties with full dedication, but release the emotional burden of controlling what happens next, thereby acting with unparalleled energy and unwavering serenity. You are becoming a master craftsman, meticulously focusing on the quality of your work, knowing that the beauty of the creation lies in the honest effort, not just the finished product. A little-known fact is that both traditions encouraged individuals to find profound meaning in even the most mundane daily tasks, transforming chores into opportunities for practicing selfless dedication and purposeful engagement. Imagine a busy Roman official scrubbing his own floor, not as a punishment but as an exercise in detached duty and focused effort. Historians still debate whether this made their homes cleaner or simply their minds more serene. It's about elevating every action into a spiritual practice. Ultimately, your journey towards understanding karma yoga meets Stoicism. Selfless action begins with the profound realization that liberating yourself from the tyranny of outcomes is the key to a truly fulfilling life. It is the powerful understanding that the ability to act with full dedication and unwavering purpose, while simultaneously detaching from the fruits of your labor, is the path to profound inner peace, unshakable resilience, and genuine freedom from the cycle of suffering. By consistently practicing the art of selfless action, you transform every effort into a spiritual offering, ensuring that your life is lived with deep meaning, unwavering virtue, and an enduring sense of calm. You become like a river flowing ceaselessly towards the ocean, giving life along its banks yet never clinging to the water it carries, perpetually moving forward with an inherent sense of purpose. It's about building an inner fortress of detachment, so strong that no external success or failure can ever disturb your profound serenity. The ancient sages, whether Hindu yogis or Roman Stoics, understood that this profound practice of acting selflessly was not just an ethical guideline but the very essence of a life lived with profound wisdom and unshakable inner peace. As the essence of selfless action begins to permeate your understanding, you naturally move to the critical concept of duty over desire. Aligned intentions, recognizing that true liberation in both karma yoga and Stoicism stems from acting not out of personal cravings or aversion, but from a clear commitment to what is right, rational, and aligned with a higher purpose. This isn't about suppressing all desire, but rather about redirecting your motivations, ensuring your actions stem from a place of principled intention rather than impulsive craving for results. Imagine a seasoned general leading their troops into battle not for personal glory or spoils but out of unwavering loyalty to their country and a commitment to justice. Your actions, guided by duty over desire, become similarly principled and powerful. Ancient Vedic texts, particularly the Dharma Shastras, meticulously outline the concept of dharma, one's righteous duty, emphasizing that adhering to dharma in all spheres of life, irrespective of personal gain, is the cornerstone of a harmonious society and individual spiritual progress. There's a fascinating historical account of King Janaka, mentioned in the Upanishads and the Mahabharata, who was revered as a karma yogi because he ruled his prosperous kingdom with immense skill and efficiency, yet remained utterly detached from the fruits of his governance, always acting purely out of duty. Historians still debate whether such a level of detachment was truly achievable for a monarch, or if he just had very good advisors. It highlights the principle of action purely, for the sake of right conduct. For the Brahmins, aligning actions with duty over desire was paramount for escaping the binding effects of karma. They believed that actions performed with attachment to results, even good results, created new karmic bonds, whereas actions performed as a pure offering, a selfless duty, nishkama karma, purified the consciousness and led to liberation. This focus on intention, rather than outcome, was their revolutionary insight into navigating the moral complexities of life without accumulating further suffering. You might feel a gentle shift in your internal compass, a quiet recognition that true purpose comes from serving something larger than your immediate gratification, from acting out of an intrinsic sense of rightness. It's like discovering that the best rewards are often found not in direct payment, but in the profound satisfaction of a job well done for its own sake. Did you know that in traditional Brahminical society, even mundane daily rituals and household tasks were often performed with a mindset of selfless duty, yajna or sacrifice, transforming routine into a sacred act aimed at cosmic harmony, not personal benefit? It's a bit like turning your morning coffee routine into a profound spiritual offering minus the elaborate chanting. Historians still debate whether this ritualization truly elevated consciousness or occasionally just led to very precise dishwashing. This deep integration of duty into daily life was central to their spiritual practice. The profound Stoic parallel to duty over desire, aligned intentions, lies in their rigorous emphasis on acting in accordance with logos, universal reason, and focusing solely on what is prohairesis within your moral choice or will. They taught that true virtue lay in the intention behind an action, not its outcome, which was considered external and indifferent. By diligently aligning their will with what was rational and virtuous, they freed themselves from the erratic swings of desire and fear, maintaining an unshakable inner peace. This unwavering commitment to duty, regardless of personal inclination or external pressure, was their pathway to eudaimonia, human flourishing. You are learning to cultivate an inner gyroscope, always correcting your course back to your core principles even when tempting winds try to blow you off track. A little-known fact is that prominent Stoics like Marcus Aurelius, despite his immense imperial power, meticulously focused on performing his duties as emperor, not for personal glory or luxurious living, but purely out of his philosophical commitment to serve the Roman Empire with justice and wisdom, even finding these duties burdensome at times. Imagine the most powerful man in the world viewing his job as a selfless, arduous duty rather than a lavish privilege. Historians still debate whether his dedication was genuinely unique or a common trait among philosophically minded emperors. It's about a radical commitment to principle above all else. The true liberation that arises from embracing duty over desire, aligned intentions, is the freedom from anxiety, disappointment, and the endless pursuit of external gratification. When your actions are rooted in a clear sense of purpose and virtue, unburdened by the need for specific outcomes, you become impervious to the unpredictable nature of the world. Your peace becomes internal, unshakable, and your contributions are always genuine and profound. You are becoming an artisan of intention, crafting a life not based on fleeting desires, but on enduring principles, each action a testament to your integrity. It's like realizing that true wealth lies not in what you accumulate, but in the unwavering purity of your motivations. The ancient Hindu concept of svadharma, one's unique duty or path, is crucial here, emphasizing that each individual has a specific role to play in the cosmic order, and fulfilling that svadharma selflessly is the highest form of spiritual practice, leading to liberation from the cycle of karma. There's an intriguing tale of the legendary warrior Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita, who, torn by the prospect of fighting his own kin, is ultimately guided by Krishna to understand that his duty as a warrior, performed selflessly, was his path to righteousness, regardless of the painful outcome. Historians still debate whether Arjuna truly understood this complex philosophy mid-battle, or if Krishna just really needed him to get moving. It powerfully illustrates how acting from duty, even when difficult, leads to profound spiritual growth. Ultimately, your journey towards understanding karma yoga meets Stoicism. Selfless action finds its core in the profound principle of duty over desire, aligned intentions. It is the powerful understanding that true freedom, peace, and spiritual growth stem from aligning your actions not with fleeting personal desires or external rewards, but with an unwavering commitment to what is inherently right and virtuous. By consistently practicing the art of acting from pure intention, by focusing on your effort and duty rather than the unpredictable outcomes, you cultivate an inner resilience and an unwavering purpose that elevates every aspect of your life. You become like a steadfast beacon, guiding others not by what you gain but by the unwavering light of your principled actions. It's about building a foundation of integrity so strong that no external temptation or failure can ever shake your profound inner peace. The ancient sages, both Hindu yogis and Roman Stoics, understood that this relentless practice of aligning actions with duty was the essential pathway to true liberation, enabling them to live lives of profound meaning and unshakable serenity, transforming even the most challenging circumstances into opportunities for growth and deeper purpose. As you embrace the principle of aligning your actions with duty over fleeting desire, you naturally progress to the next vital stage, Embracing effort, releasing outcomes, a profound practice shared by both karma yoga and Stoicism that liberates you from the anxiety of results and empowers you to act with full vigor. This isn't about indifference to the quality of your work, quite the opposite. It's about dedicating yourself fully to the process, to the effort itself, with meticulous attention and unwavering commitment, while simultaneously letting go of any emotional attachment to what happens after your effort is complete. Imagine a dedicated farmer meticulously tilling the soil, planting seeds and nurturing the crops, pouring all their energy into the process. They hope for a good harvest, but they know the ultimate outcome is subject to forces beyond their control: rain, sun, pests. Your actions, when you embrace effort and release outcomes, become similarly dedicated yet emotionally free. Ancient yogic texts, particularly the Bhagavad Gita, famously state, "You have a right to perform your prescribed duty, but you are not entitled to the fruits of action." This foundational teaching emphasizes complete engagement in the work while simultaneously cultivating non-attachment to its results. There's a fascinating historical account of ancient Indian artists who would spend years perfecting intricate temple carvings, pouring their heart and soul into every detail, yet would sign their work with a generic collective name or no name at all, truly embodying a detachment from individual recognition. Historians still debate whether this anonymity fostered greater artistic purity or occasionally led to awkward conversations at artist conventions. It highlights the focus on the act itself, not the resulting fame. For the Brahmins, particularly the practitioners of karma yoga, embracing effort, releasing outcomes, was the very essence of spiritual liberation. They believed that clinging to the fruits of action, whether success or failure, bound the individual to the cycle of karma and suffering. By performing all actions with dedication, but without egoic attachment to the results, the actions became purified, ceasing to generate new karmic reactions and leading to the eventual dissolution of past karma. This radical detachment allowed them to act with maximum efficiency and clarity, unburdened by anxiety or expectation. You might feel a profound sense of inner lightness, a quiet recognition that true freedom comes not from achieving specific results, but from the unwavering integrity of your effort, irrespective of what the universe delivers. It's like realizing that the true joy of the journey is in the walking itself, not just reaching the destination. Did you know that during ancient Vedic fire rituals, yajnas, the priests would meticulously perform every action with perfect precision, but the offerings themselves were given to the deities with a spirit of complete surrender, symbolizing the release of attachment to the outcome of the ritual? It's a bit like giving your best performance on a test and then genuinely not caring about the grade, because the learning was the reward. Historians still debate whether this level of detachment was consistently maintained, or if they occasionally peaked at the celestial scoreboard. This meticulous dedication, coupled with profound release, was a cornerstone of their practice. The profound Stoic parallel to embracing effort, releasing outcomes, lies in their core doctrine of the dichotomy of control. They relentlessly taught that while your effort, your intentions, and your choices are entirely within your control, the outcomes of those efforts are not. Therefore, clinging to desired outcomes or being distressed by undesired ones was seen as irrational and a source of unnecessary suffering. By focusing solely on their virtuous efforts and accepting whatever outcome ensued, they cultivated ataraxia, a state of unshakable tranquility. You are learning to distinguish between your noble contribution and the universe's unpredictable reply, investing fully in the former and wisely detaching from the latter. A little-known fact is that Stoic philosophers would often meditate on potential setbacks and failures before undertaking important tasks, not to be pessimistic, but to mentally prepare themselves to accept any outcome, thereby freeing their minds to focus purely on the virtue of their effort. Imagine a Roman general strategizing his battle plan, while simultaneously accepting the possibility of defeat, so that his mind could remain clear and courageous. Historians still debate whether this rigorous mental preparation truly eliminated fear or merely transformed it into a more disciplined form of acceptance. It's about a proactive, rational approach to emotional freedom. The true power that arises from embracing effort, releasing outcomes, is an unshakable resilience and an enduring sense of inner peace. When your happiness is not contingent upon specific results, you are immune to the disappointments and anxieties that plague those who cling to outcomes. This freedom allows you to act with maximum energy and creativity, for your motivation stems from the inherent value of the effort itself, not the fragile hope of external reward. Your life becomes a testament to purpose-driven action, rather than result-driven anxiety. You are becoming a powerful river, flowing with unwavering purpose, shaping the landscape as it goes, yet never clinging to the water that has passed. It's like learning to surf. You exert effort to catch the wave, but once on it, you release control and ride the current, accepting its direction. The ancient Indian concept of tyaga, renunciation or letting go, particularly in the context of action, signifies the deliberate relinquishing of attachment to the fruits of one's actions, a practice essential for achieving liberation and profound peace. There's an intriguing tale of the legendary yogi who, after completing an arduous pilgrimage, immediately began another, not for any personal benefit, but simply because the act of pilgrimage itself, the dedicated effort, was its own reward. Historians still debate whether his feet ever got tired. It profoundly illustrates how the joy is found in the journey, not just the destination. Ultimately, your journey through karma yoga meets Stoicism. Selfless action finds its profound liberation in the practice of embracing effort, releasing outcomes. It is the powerful understanding that true peace, unwavering energy, and freedom from anxiety stem from fully dedicating yourself to your actions, while simultaneously letting go of emotional attachment to what those actions produce. By consistently practicing this art of dedicated effort and detached outcome, you transform every endeavor into a source of inner strength and profound contentment, ensuring that your life is lived with purpose, resilience, and an unshakable calm. You become like a towering tree, rooted deeply in the earth, reaching for the sky with all its might, yet releasing its leaves and fruits effortlessly to the winds of change. It's about building a spirit of unwavering commitment to your actions, coupled with a deep liberating trust in the unfolding of life. The ancient sages, both Hindu yogis and Roman Stoics, understood that this relentless practice was not just an ethical guideline, but the essential pathway to true freedom, enabling them to live lives of profound meaning and unshakable serenity, transforming even the most challenging circumstances into opportunities for growth and deeper purpose. Having cultivated the liberating practice of embracing effort while releasing outcomes, you now arrive at the vital principle of virtue in action. Beyond personal gain, understanding that the true essence of selfless action lies not in any external reward, but in the inherent goodness and moral integrity of the act itself. This isn't about martyrdom or self-sacrifice for its own sake. It's about recognizing that aligning your actions with universal principles of justice, courage, wisdom, and temperance is its own profound reward, creating an unshakable inner peace independent of external validation. Imagine a beacon of light, shining brightly in the darkness, not because it expects praise or recognition, but simply because it is its nature to illuminate. Your virtuous actions, performed without expectation of personal gain, become that unwavering light, illuminating your path and benefiting all around you. Ancient Vedic philosophy, particularly the concept of dharma, righteous conduct, emphasizes that upholding universal moral laws and acting with integrity are fundamental to cosmic order and individual well-being, irrespective of immediate personal benefit. There's a fascinating historical account of the sage Vishwamitra, who, despite immense power, undertook incredibly arduous austerities and disciplines not for worldly power, but purely to attain the state of Brahmarshi, a sage of ultimate spiritual wisdom, proving that inner virtue was the highest goal. Historians still debate whether his intense self-discipline was a path to enlightenment or simply a very intense spiritual fitness regimen. It highlights the pursuit of inherent goodness above all else. For the Brahmins, particularly, through the lens of karma yoga, Virtue in action was paramount because it was understood that actions performed out of egoic desire, or for personal profit, bound one to the cycle of rebirth. Only actions performed purely as a duty, dharma, for the welfare of others, or as an offering to the divine, without attachment to personal gain, could purify the soul and lead to liberation, moksha. This emphasis on the intrinsic moral quality of the act, rather than its instrumental value, transformed every action into a spiritual offering. You might feel a profound sense of intrinsic satisfaction, a quiet recognition that the deepest fulfillment comes not from what you get, but from the inherent nobility of what you do simply because it is right. It's like realizing that planting a tree is inherently good, whether you ever sit in its shade or not. Did you know that in ancient India, warriors were taught to fight valiantly on the battlefield not for conquest or spoils, but primarily to uphold dharma and protect the innocent, believing that their courage and duty performed selflessly guaranteed a higher spiritual state? It's a bit like a medieval knight taking a vow of selfless heroism, even when no one is watching. Historians still debate whether this philosophical ideal was consistently upheld by all ancient warriors, or if occasional looting still occurred. This deep focus on moral rectitude was central to their understanding of action. The profound Stoic parallel to virtue in action, beyond personal gain, lies in their core ethical teaching that virtue is the sole good. For Stoics, external things like wealth, fame, health, or even life itself were considered indifferents, neither good nor bad in themselves, but merely raw material for virtuous action. True good lay only in one's rational choices, in acting with courage, justice, wisdom, and temperance. Therefore, they performed their duties and actions not for personal benefit, but because it was the virtuous thing to do, finding their sole reward in the act of being virtuous itself. You are learning to separate your worth from your worldly possessions or achievements, understanding that your true value lies in your unshakable character. A little-known fact is that Stoic philosophers would often take on difficult or unpopular political roles, knowing they would face public scorn or danger, but doing so because it was their duty to contribute to the good of the state, demonstrating a profound commitment to virtue beyond personal comfort. Imagine a Roman senator actively seeking out the least glamorous, most challenging public service roles, purely for the sake of ethical integrity. Historians still debate whether this selflessness was always appreciated by the Roman populace or sometimes mistaken for eccentric behavior. It's about a radical commitment to living a life of inherent moral excellence. The true liberation that arises from embracing virtue in action, beyond personal gain, is freedom from external validation and the anxieties of reputation. When your actions are driven by internal moral principles rather than the desire for applause or material reward, you become unshakable. Your happiness is self-contained, deriving from the purity of your intentions, making you impervious to criticism, praise, success, or failure. Your life becomes a living testament to ethical integrity, radiating an inner strength that inspires others. You are becoming a quiet force of good, moving through the world with an invisible shield of virtue, untouched by external judgment. It's like realizing that your worth is an unchangeable internal constant, not a fluctuating external variable. The ancient Hindu concept of nishkama karma explicitly states that actions performed without desire for results purify the mind and lead to liberation, embodying the principle that the virtuous nature of the act itself is the highest reward, ultimately dissolving karmic bonds. There's an intriguing tale of the legendary King Vikramaditya, who, despite his immense power and wisdom, was renowned for performing countless acts of justice and charity entirely anonymously, seeking no personal acclaim, embodying the essence of selfless virtue. Historians still debate whether his subjects ever suspected his secret good deeds or if he was just incredibly stealthy. It profoundly illustrates how truly virtuous action seeks no external acknowledgement. Ultimately, your journey through karma yoga meets Stoicism. Selfless action culminates in the profound embrace of virtue in action, beyond personal gain. It is the powerful understanding that true fulfillment, lasting peace, and genuine liberation emerge when your efforts are rooted in an unwavering commitment to moral excellence, independent of any external reward or recognition. By consistently practicing the art of acting from pure intention, by focusing on the inherent goodness of your deeds rather than their worldly outcomes, you cultivate an inner integrity that is unshakable, transforming every moment into an opportunity for growth and profound contentment. You become like a deep, clear well, offering pure, refreshing water to all who seek it, simply because it is its nature to give. It's about building a life so infused with moral excellence that its very existence becomes its own radiant reward. The ancient sages, both Hindu yogis and Roman Stoics, understood that this relentless pursuit of virtue in action was not just an ethical guideline, but the essential pathway to true liberation, enabling them to live lives of profound meaning and unshakable serenity, transforming even the most challenging circumstances into opportunities for growth and deeper purpose. As you embrace the profound truth of virtue in action, transcending personal gain, you arrive at the ultimate realization of this journey: the freedom of selfless service, understanding that devoting your actions to the well-being of others without attachment to outcomes is the pinnacle of liberation and the highest expression of both karma yoga and Stoic philosophy. This isn't just about occasional acts of kindness. It's about cultivating a mindset where your very existence becomes an ongoing contribution, a continuous offering to the world, freeing you from the burdens of ego and personal desire. Imagine a river, flowing ceaselessly, bringing life and sustenance to every landscape it touches, never holding back, never seeking anything in return, simply fulfilling its nature. Your life, when dedicated to selfless service, becomes that river, a force of profound positive impact, unburdened by personal expectation. Ancient Vedic texts extensively describe the concept of seva, selfless service, as a fundamental spiritual practice, believing that serving others with pure intention purifies the heart and mind, leading to direct experience of the divine and liberation from karmic bonds. There's a fascinating historical account of ancient Indian kings who would spend their entire lives constructing vast irrigation systems or public wells, not for personal legacy, but as an act of pure service to their people, believing that such selfless acts accumulated immense spiritual merit. Historians still debate whether these kings were genuinely altruistic, or if they just wanted to avoid public complaints about water shortages. It highlights the deep cultural value placed on selfless contribution. For the Brahmins, particularly followers of karma yoga, the freedom of selfless service was the ultimate pathway to moksha, liberation. They understood that the ego, with its incessant demands and desires, was the source of all bondage. By dedicating all actions to the welfare of others, or to the divine without any personal agenda, the ego gradually dissolved, revealing the boundless, free nature of the true self, Atman, which is one with Brahman. This profound detachment from personal gain transformed work into worship, leading to ultimate spiritual emancipation. You might feel an expansive sense of joy, a quiet recognition that your greatest fulfillment comes not from what you acquire, but from what you wholeheartedly contribute, from the profound satisfaction of truly serving. It's like realizing that true happiness is not a destination you arrive at, but a state of being you discover through giving. Did you know that in traditional Brahminical society, even scholars and priests, despite their intellectual pursuits, were expected to perform selfless service to their community, often teaching for free or participating in communal projects, understanding that knowledge without service was incomplete? It's a bit like a modern-day professor volunteering to clean classrooms after hours, purely for the good of the university. Historians still debate whether these acts were always spontaneous or occasionally encouraged by social pressure. This integration of service into all roles underscored its spiritual significance. The profound Stoic parallel to the freedom of selfless service lies in their concept of cosmopolitanism and living in accordance with logos by contributing to the universal good. They believe that humans are inherently rational and social beings, and our highest purpose is to contribute to the well-being of the human community, acting as citizens of the world. By performing their duties with excellence and focusing their efforts on the benefit of others regardless of personal cost or reward, they cultivated eudaimonia, human flourishing, and achieved an unshakable inner peace that transcended individual concerns. You are learning to view yourself as an integral part of a larger, interconnected whole, your actions reverberating far beyond your immediate sphere, enriching the lives of others. A little-known fact is that many prominent Stoics, including emperors like Marcus Aurelius, dedicated their lives to public service despite the immense stress and ingratitude it often entailed, purely because they believed it was their rational duty to contribute to the well-being of society, finding their reward in the virtuous act itself. Imagine the most powerful man in the world willingly sacrificing personal comfort and peace for the relentless demands of selfless governance. Historians still debate whether his personal journals truly reflected his struggles or were partly a philosophical exercise for his own resilience. It's about a profound commitment to universal well-being. The true unshakable freedom that arises from dedicating yourself to selfless service is liberation from the ego's endless demands, from the fear of loss, and from the anxiety of external validation. When your actions are driven by a genuine desire to contribute, your happiness is no longer dependent on fluctuating personal circumstances. You become a conduit for positive change, a living embodiment of virtue, radiating peace and purpose that is unassailable. You are becoming a limitless wellspring of goodwill, constantly replenishing itself as it pours out its bounty. It's like discovering that the more you give, the more you have, not in material possessions but in profound inner abundance. The ancient Hindu concept of loka sangraha, working for the welfare of the world, is a central tenet of karma yoga, emphasizing that selfless action performed for the benefit of all beings purifies the individual and leads to the ultimate state of liberation, breaking the chain of karmic bondage. There's an intriguing tale of the legendary King Rama, who, even when exiled, continued to perform his duties and serve those around him with unwavering dedication, never seeking personal gain, demonstrating the profound freedom that comes from a life of selfless devotion. Historians still debate whether his actions were purely virtuous or strategically intended to set an example for his kingdom. It profoundly illustrates how truly selfless action leads to ultimate liberation. Ultimately, your journey through karma yoga meets Stoicism. Selfless action culminates in the profound understanding of the freedom of selfless service. It is the powerful, quiet realization that true liberation, an unshakable inner peace and profound contentment are found not by striving for personal accumulation, but by dedicating your actions, your very being, to the well-being of others, without attachment to personal outcomes. By consistently practicing the art of selfless contribution, you transcend the limitations of ego and desire, transforming your life into a continuous offering of virtue, wisdom, and boundless peace. You become like the sun, giving light and warmth to all, without ever asking for anything in return, simply fulfilling its glorious purpose. It's about finding the deepest joy and the most profound meaning in living a life that perpetually gives. The ancient sages, both Hindu yogis and Roman Stoics, understood that this relentless practice of selfless service was not just an ethical guideline, but the essential pathway to true liberation, enabling them to live lives of profound meaning and unshakable serenity, transforming even the most challenging circumstances into opportunities for growth and deeper purpose. End of script. Thank you for listening, everyone.